Welcome to Techstination. Joining us once again is Erica Rosen, Director of Marketing at BioLite. Thank you for joining us, Erica.
Thanks for having me here.
Well, you've got a new product on the market, which is usually why we're chatting with you, and I'll let you shine some light on what it is.
I love when we get to start with a pun. We're making a brand new hands-free light. It is the HeadLamp 330, and it is a 330 lumen USB rechargeable headlamp. And what really sets it apart is that it is designed to be so comfortable that you'll actually forget that you're wearing it.
And that isn't the case with a lot of other headlights that people wear when they're camping or hiking when it's dark outside. So
Exactly.
tell us what some of the other features are here, because there are a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot that gets packed into this little light. So to your point about it not being like other headlamps, one of the things that we noticed was that anytime we went camping and we had a headlamp on, within a couple of minutes, our headlamp was around our neck, and that's often because it was uncomfortable, it was slipping, it was bouncing, and what we realized is that what you really have is a physics problem. A lot of headlamps just have basically like a big doorknob sticking out of your forehead. We thought that there was a way to redesign what the architecture of what a headlamp could be. So to the features that we talked about, the first thing is a flush front. So the front of this headlamp is only 9 millimeters thick. And the way that we do that is we directly integrate the electronics into the headband. So it's a single cohesive unit with a front bezel that can tilt forward. So the light you can angle the light and direct it down if you need it, but the unit itself feels like one cohesive piece that sits flush right up against your forehead. In terms of the USB rechargeability, there is a USB rechargeable power source that sits on the back of your head. And what we did is we reoriented the power source to the back because it makes for a much more gravity-friendly design. The back of your head is much more comfortable carrying those ounces rather than having it cantilevered off the front of your forehead. And so once we got that kind of design figured out, we were able to pack a bunch of functionality into the firmware to offer you different lighting modes. So there is a 230 lumen spot, 100 lumen flood, red night vision. There is a strobe mode. All of the white light settings are dimmable. And so you really do get a lot in this little bit of light. And with it being USB rechargeable, you've got run times of 3.5 hours on high and 40 hours on low. And a nice little tidbit is that it accepts pass-through charging. So if you wanted to, you could, for example, put a power bank in the top of your backpack, run a cord up through the back, and you can keep burning while it's recharging.
That's really a neat feature that you have, because in some instances, if you're out on a long hike and it's dusk or whatever, you may need that extra power if you need it on high, if you need this headlamp
Exactly.
on high. And I suppose it could even be handy if you're out on a long bike ride.
Yeah, so the headlamp 330 can fit around helmets, and I think that for bike riding, it's really great where if you need it for visibility, you can use the spot or the full 330 lumens. But it also, with that strobe, it not only helps you see, but it can also help you be seen. So, for example, I commute to work every day on my bike, and I am in an urban setting, so a lot of the roads are pretty well lit in terms of navigation, but I need to be seen by other cyclists and other cars, and so I actually use the headlamp on my helmet in strobe mode, and that helps me bike safely.
And do you have that facing forward or backward?
I have it facing forward. I actually have a PowerLite Mini facing backward in red strobe. And then the other thing that's nice about the headlamp is like you can hack it all different ways. If there are times where I forget a tail light, what I'll do is I'll actually just loop it through the back of my backpack, and then I've got a tail light with me.
Terrific. Now, you've paid attention to style with this too. You mentioned that it's not the front is not very thick at all. But beyond that, the styling and the colors available are pretty interesting for a product like this.
Yeah, so with the headlamp, it's on your body. It's a wearable, and we want you to not only feel incredibly comfortable, we also want you to feel great wearing it. So it comes in 4 colorways. We've got standard kind of issue gray-black. We've got a great ember red, an ocean teal, and a sunset yellow. These are all really great, vibrant colors, and they are all comprised of a moisture-wicking band that'll keep you really cool and dry. So the colors aren't just fun. The fabrics themselves are really functional.
Tell us about pricing and availability.
Yeah, so the BioLite HeadLamp 330 is $49.95, and one thing that we want to note about that is that you are getting USB rechargeable lumens at alkaline pricing. So it is one of the most competitively priced headlamps on the market if you're looking for a USB rechargeable solution.
Beyond the HeadLamp 330, this is the first spring season that your fire pit has been on the market, and these early spring evenings, I guess, can be perfect for making use of that.
Yeah, we're already getting really great photos from our community for people who, after the kind of initial spring thaw, people are itching to get outside and get grilling. And so, yeah, the BioLite fire pit is out for spring season. We're really excited. For people who aren't familiar with it, it is a smokeless fire pit that can burn both standard firewood as well as charcoal, because it has a grill attachment that can turn it into a hibachi-style grill. And new this spring, we have a couple of new accessories that really help fulfill the kind of potential of where the fire pit can show up in your life. We've got a new fire mat. So a lot of the time with the fire pit, it does put out a lot of heat. And so for the last, year, we've been saying use it on, dirt-packed surfaces, cement, sand, something like that, telling people to keep it off of decks and lawns. But with the fire mat, the way that the mat works is it's actually designed to radiate heat away. So the simplest translation, you can use it on your deck now. You can use it on your patio. And so it really opens up the number of situations where you can be hanging out with the fire pit. And then another small accessory that is small but mighty is our fire poker. And so it's just a small little fire tool that enables you to stoke your firewood easily. And then it also has a specially hooked edge, and that hooked edge allows you to adjust the fuel rack inside of the burn chamber. So let's say that you started your night burning charcoal and grilling up your meal, and you're ready to move on to firewood. What this does is it allows you to seamlessly move the fuel rack down while it might be hot to the touch.
Terrific. And what you have mentioned really is one of the best features, I think, of the fire pit, and it's that the mesh siding on it that kind of vanishes when you've got a fire going.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things that made Fire Pit a runaway success is it gives you all of the benefits of a classic campfire without any of the smoke. We built a burn chamber that fully encapsulates the firewood, but what we didn't want to do is we didn't want to block your view. I think one of the things that happens with a lot of fire rings is that people overbuild their fire because they want to see the flames. And so what this does is the body of the fire pit is made of a perforated metal that we call X-ray mesh. And the reason we call it X-ray is that when you get that big, beautiful fire going, the mesh essentially disappears, and all you see is, direct views of your fire hard at work.
Great for just enjoying a fire, and as you said, it does double duty. You can grill on this thing, too.
Exactly.
For more information, where do we go?
You can head on over to BioLiteEnergy.com. And when you're over there, you can check out all of our lineup and as well as our impact. So when you make a purchase, you help bring clean energy to households living off-grid across sub-Saharan Africa.
And you've been very involved with that, with the company, and even going out there yourself, from what I can see.
Headed there next week.
Terrific. Again, it's BioLiteEnergy.com. Erica Rosen, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thanks so much.
Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C. Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, and it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on Crane at Techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love Crane.